right, so I guess as we know, the season is over. It's the end of the season, but it's still a lot to talk about. Yeah. So today we're gonna discuss just a couple of things real quick, like what happened to Julius Randle. Who should we keep or let go? Who should we target in free agency? And then what type of draft pick should we look for? But one thing I will say, we appreciate the people who stuck with us through preseason all the way up until the end. It wasn't the outcome that we was looking for, but the Knicks did some amazing things this year that nobody could take away from us, right? So it happened that way. The idea of making the playoffs was to find out where we were as a team, and what we need to do going forward. So with that said, though, we still can't ignore what happened in that Hawks series. And Randall laid an egg. Randall laid an egg, and the Hawks cut his whole stat line in half. So we could try to just get into a little bit of what happened with that, and then maybe and I don't know what the other people on our team could have done.
They did what they was doing all season.
Yeah.
And I've been telling everybody, me, I'm not going to let Randall have it. But I'm going to say, in the past, when I was saying that stuff about Randall, this is what I was saying. Stuff look good when the competition ain't that well.
Nah, but Joe, he did that all year, though.
I'm talking about, but listen, all year, here's my thing. I was telling everybody this, so I'm going to tell y'all. When the competition go up, can you still play the same or better? That's been my thing my whole life. If we go somewhere else and the competition go up and you can't play the same, that tells me right there what kind of player you are or gonna be.
Yeah, but this is different, man.
So quickly played the same.
Nah, he didn't quite play the same in the playoffs.
He plays up and down. Yeah. He doesn't score every game. He doesn't got the green light every game. RJ Barrett, inconsistent. He's not consistent every game. He'll go from 20 points to 15 points, from 16 points to 7 points. He's like that all year long. Derrick Rose stepped up his game. He only was dropping 20 the most. Then take over a whole game, floaters, 30 points.
Derrick and Taj, seasoned veterans.
Yeah, Taj, but Taj been playing at that level.
At the playoffs.
Taj been playing at that level all season long. Nerlens Noel been blocking shots like that all season long. He wasn't grabbing rebounds.
And even he had a drop off though in the playoffs.
But we was getting killed off offensive rebounds the whole year. Nerlens Noel didn't help that none. Taj Gibson.
Nah, we wasn't getting killed like that. Nah, we wasn't
getting killed like that, but we was exposed. I'm talking about, but if I look at the chart and say, we can get a lot of second chance points on the Knicks, you probably knew that. So what I'm saying is, with Randall all season long, I'm like, it's consistent, but only how well everybody else is playing. And I said that. I said when everybody else playing well, then because he's not getting triple team.
But this is a double-edged sword though, Joey. See, because like Randall, okay, nobody's asking to give him a pass for what he did in the playoffs. But we can't compare raising your game to what he did in the season, because he raised his game up against some of the best competition. Like, look at what he did one of the games against the Clippers. Kawhi and Paul George didn't have an answer for him. And Paul George even had admitted that. And he played good against a lot of the good teams. Now, who knew that he would just go south all the way on us?
Me, because I've been saying
nobody. There's no way, Joey. The man averaged 37 points against the Hawks, right? 10 rebounds against the Hawks in the regular season. Even with the double team, he could have still averaged 27 and 7, something like that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I tell every time I come in here, I say the same thing. He always look like his mind just goes off the game. Like he just dumbs out. He throws away the ball. He does this stupid behind the back dribble, like he
did that all year, but he still was productive.
All he does is step back.
And nothing worked for him in the playoffs.
So if that don't drop, what else you gonna do?
Nothing worked, right? Nothing, and they took away his right hand, and now you put that on top of, and it's not like I'm making an excuse for Randall, I'm not, but you put that on top of the nerves of being the man on that stage. Now, you talking about playing in front of 2,000 Knicks fans who everybody watching the games love you. And now you wanted this so bad. Now, you could tell that he really probably wanted to do what he was doing all year. And the pressure of that and the pressure of Madison Square Garden and being the savior of New York, is too much for somebody who that's not really you. But that's what we had.
I'm not accepting that when I say the same thing about RJ, and then it's a whole.
RJ's not on his level, Joe. His levels to this whole thing. RJ on that level.
How is he not on that level? He was doing the same thing Randall was doing.
Nah, he wasn't doing the same thing Randall was doing. RJ,
he was balling. He wasn't.
If we didn't have Burke, RJ might have even been traded at the trade deadline or something, because his inconsistency play was way different in a game than with Randall. Way,
and that's cool.
And expectations was different with you, with him. And then once we got Rose, it wasn't the same no more. Now, the pressure of keeping a young third pick is probably in the beginning may have drove Thibodeau crazy, but sometimes you got to give something to get something. You know, when you in a franchise like this, now we got to say our brain trust. You know, it's not like Pat Riley at coach, Dave Checketts, and Ernie Grunfeld, the player, up front. But Thibodeau, you know, Worldwide West, you know, Leon Rose, and then Scott Perry. That's not, now looking back, that's not a bad tandem to have. So coach probably had to give up something to keep RJ, force feeding RJ, and rightfully so for the things that he could be. But right now he's not. He's not. And one thing.
Listen, how many years he been in the league?
It's only 2 years, but we're talking about
how many years he been in the league?
2.
And how many years Randall been in the league?
But Randall don't even compare.
How many years
and it's Randall's first time in the playoffs too.
So what? How long Randall been in the league?
Joey, right now you could take RJ. You could have took RJ off our team day one. We still would have been the same team. You took Randall off our team. We're not even sniffing.
That's not what I'm saying neither. I'm saying I'm not giving him no pass.
Right. He's not getting no pass, but it's not like. But you made it seem like he was doing that all year.
He was.
Joey, the man was in consideration for Player of the Year.
I don't know how.
But he was though. He was in. No, you're not gonna get that many votes. But you was in consideration. You don't just get to be in consideration. A lot of guys don't even smell that, who might have had a better season than Randall. But what Randall did with New York, with the projection of 22 games, and to put us fourth, that's Randall. I mean, Tibbetts get the coach for that, but that was Randall. That was Randall. Now, what happened to him in the playoffs is unfortunate. That he couldn't get out of his head, and the domino effect trickled down to everybody else.
I still think that was a team effort, but
it was a team effort, right? But with the leader,
the team. We say he's the leader, but
I'm talking about the stat leader. I'm talking about. Yeah, in that sense, Randall was the leader of the team, because everything fell off of him.
Because whatever he do in practice, all right, cool. They put their faith in him.
You can't be that hard on a man. On a man that got us fourth place out of nowhere.
And you know what? I'm not even saying that to bomb on Randall, because Randall is a very good player. He does very good, but like I said, I wasn't putting all my eggs on just Randall.
No, you wasn't putting, but again, Randall. If somebody averaging almost 30 points a game, and damn near triple double, right? That means they're affecting the other players because they got the ball in their hand all the time. So one way or another, he's affecting the game.
I'm talking about
so if his game ain't on, the way he has the ball, if his game ain't on, then that affects it even affect Derrick Rose.
Yeah, but even when his game is not on, people like Burke step up. People like Todd step up. People like RJ Barrett step up. People like Quickly step up.
But even they're stepping up.
Yeah, we've been saying that all year long.
Yeah, but Joey, they're stepping up was hero ball. We're talking about the fluidity of a game. We didn't have that. We didn't have that this series. What Rose did on his own. Kudos to Rose, but he had to come out of his element to do things on his own to try to make it happen. What Burke did on his own. You know, get the ball and then dribble around for opening.
Burke been to the finals?
And no, he might have been in the playoffs a couple of times, but
that's what I meant.
But he did that on his own. So the guys that was used to being there, those are things they done on their own. Even Taj, you know, the workman stuff he put up. That was him on his own. It wasn't a team thing.
If I'm going to let Paul George have it, if I'm going to let Harden even have it, I'm letting Randall have it.
You can listen.
Because now going to tell me, like, listen, if you're going to put him up there with, where we put him at?
Joey, the man got us in fourth place.
So what I'm saying, we put him there with LeBron.
Fourth
we put
place.
him up there with...
You know he ain't up there with LeBron.
So if we put him up there with Paul George, we let Paul George have it
every team got a star. Just because you're the star of the team, don't make you a superstar in the league. Every team got a player. I mean, it ain't that many stars in the league. And then the ones that are in the league, most of them are paired up maybe 3 at a time on one team. So it ain't that many stars in the league. But at the same time, if just because you're the star, you can start, like, take Utah. Gobert and Mitchell. Yeah, Mitchell's going to be, he's a bright, young, up-and-coming star. But he ain't no real star in this league. Gobert ain't no real star in this league. But they the star of their team. Take Denver. Yeah, what's his name got player of the year, but he ain't that kind of star. So teams, Randall was our guy, and look what he did for us at our guy.
And I wasn't comfortable with that. I bet you there was a lot of us that wasn't.
Listen,
fourth
place.
Yeah, fourth place.
All them other good guys on the other team, he got us to fourth. And I say he, meaning that because he was the face of the franchise, got us to fourth place. So regardless of what we're gonna do going forward with that, because we know you got to do something different, but at the same time, you can't discredit what the man done. Yeah, we wanted more. But at that point, it just wasn't going to happen. You know, I was on the phone with some people on a 4-way call, and I remember 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they was like, well, the Knicks could make a run. I didn't even care about the run at that point, because where you going from there now? You know, to make a run now for what? You know. So, yeah, Derrick did his job, but Derrick, he had to come out of what he was accustomed to get them 25 points. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of them times he didn't want to drive. But because of the body language of the other players, he would just take off to the basket. And he was productive. You know, Bert, he had to dribble around when he should have maybe have been getting the ball and just taking and shoot it. Because we were dribbling around going north and south and backing the ball back out. They was coming down right in our grill on our home floor and pulling up Jane right in our face.
I said,
so we need shooters. We need shooters.
Real
shooters.
We look silly when they talk about how we like a fake bad boys kind of team, and then you throwing elbows. It just don't look good.
Well, that didn't. That didn't even make.
Yeah, it didn't look good. Like one of them, I was like, yeah, like that wasn't really.
Well, that didn't. No, that didn't. The whole thing was.
But that was my only gripe with Randall. Was like, yo, listen.
Yeah, but Randall did it, Taj did it, Nerlens did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary.
But Nerlens and Taj, they always get into some.
Nah, not like that.
Not like that.
Those are clean cut guys.
Yeah,
but that was
it's the playoff. Taj said,
cheap
like,
shots.
I ain't do that.
He did though. That's why they upgraded.
Back?
Nah, you can't do that. You can't. He just went up. I mean, that wasn't necessary though. That wasn't even necessary. And then you're doing it to the person that had nothing to do with you. Like, yeah, they were saying that Capella was doing some cheap stuff. All right, so this is the NBA. This is the NBA. Come in here and play y'all's game, but we never got into our game. You know, but still a successful season.
Trae Young. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. This is what I did like about it. Like, I like the energy. I like Trae Young trying to be the villain.
And he wasn't. Much as he tried.
No, I said he wasn't. But for 2000, what we about to be in 22, 21. That was kind of cool. I want to see players not like each other or look like they don't like each other, or I want to see people shush the crowd. Yeah, and I want to see Trae Young to me for not being the villain.
Yeah, because you're the villain when the team and the city don't like you. We like Trae for as much as you and see they played with nothing to lose too.
We like Trae, but they let him have it. Listen, the man got spit on.
I mean, they can't.
Spike Lee told him to shut up.
Yeah, but that was joking. Yeah,
but joking around, but still.
Yeah, but that's
Morgan
right.
Said, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. 50 Cent man look like they said we ain't doing that here.
Yeah, but that's all in fun.
Yeah, that's all in fun. But
that's all in fun. But that fan that spit, he need to be locked up. Same fan that threw water bottle at who was that on another team? Somebody threw a water bottle. So stuff had been happening.
Yeah, for the fake villainy that was.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was for show.
Like, because he had nothing. He had nothing to lose. They wasn't picked to win the series.
There shouldn't be no real tension. But for that, everybody had tension on the court. You could not like somebody during that game, and then right after that,
I don't even think they disliked. But I don't even think they disliked Trae. I think the issue came with Capella. It was something going on with Capella because really. And I was telling somebody this. The Hawks played the same way we beat them 3 games. Those are all good games. Mm-hmm. They played their exact same way. They didn't do nothing different. We didn't show up. Yeah, even when they beat us, they had 102, 103.
I think like one time Trae was hurt, one time Capella was hurt.
Trae went out one game. He went out.
Gallinari was hurt for 2 games that we played.
Nah, those were good.
So
Their shooters was there. Look, we don't got Mitch, so we could cry River. We didn't have Mitch in them games neither.
Yeah,
so we could cry River.
Mitch would have stopped all those.
Well, I mean, no. What having Mitch means that now you got a rim protector back there. It makes the guard their man harder because there's somebody back there, and then they're not so fast to drive because every time Nerlens went out, they was going straight down Broadway to the lane. But again, that's what happened. To me, it was us. It wasn't the triple teams on Randall. They could have played Randall one-on-one. He was so nervous and out of it. He wouldn't have done nothing if they'd have left him by himself. But it's what the Knicks didn't do. The Hawks played the same way they did during the season. Them guys was hitting jumpers in our face during the season. Clutch baskets during the season. You know? But last year I kept saying we need Bogdanovich. Remember I was like, he was one of my 5 guys
every time I see him
that we had the choice from. And he lit up the whole year. And he's one of the people that killed us. You know, his timely shooting, his untimely shooting, whatever it was, just keeping the game out of reach for us.
For a minute, I said, Bogdanovich ain't that good today. He started turning up again.
But he played the same way he played, though. You know, the media decides who they want to talk about.
We got Hunter. He was hitting good shots, too.
Yeah, and he's a shooter. You know, Herder have another guy named too. But the media talk about who they want to talk about. You know, that's what the media do. Because if the media felt like getting on Todd Gibson's bandwagon second half of the season, they could have made him out to be Draymond Green for the way what he was doing for us on our team. If they want to do that for you.
Todd Gibson guy, he need to check on the Knicks for the rest of the Knicks.
Well, they'll be able to re-sign him because nobody's going to be going after.
I'm talking about either re-sign him or put him on the staff or something.
All right, so let's go down to who should we keep, and we ain't got to go through every player. But you know,
everybody. You know, we don't need Frank. Who else we got?
Well, we got to look at who is. Remember, a lot of our guys, other than not Burke.
Like who was tradable? Is what you asking me?
Well, other than Bullock, most of them guys aren't even. They only have 1-year deals. So, if somebody give them, I was reading, if somebody give a lot of them, like Burke, Derrick Rose, Nerlens Noel, a whole bunch of them. If somebody offered them their mid-level, we can't afford to keep all of them. So I think Bullock is the only one that we have under contract that we have an option for next year.
If that's the case, then we keep Rose and we keep Burke, unless we're gonna get somebody.
See, Burke, I want to keep Burke too, but I want to make sure we keep Bullock. I want to keep Rose and Bullock. I want to keep Rose coming off the bench.
About Bullock, if we can get other shooters.
But Bullock is a real 3-and-D guy, and I would go dare to say if you have to put him back at his natural 2 position.
Here's the thing: if we're not gonna run no plays.
Well,
if we not all right. So this is how I'm thinking: if we're not gonna run no plays with Bullock, let him go.
Nah, it ain't that. We gotta get an offensive coordinator. Tibbs, when they hire that next coach, because what's his name left, and he's defense, he wasn't even offense. Woodson. Then they got to come back with an offensive minded, because even the Hawks in certain plays run up the court. Even though it looked like a small transition, those are plays they was running. You know, a person run down to the elbow, the other person come cutting through the back door, and all of a sudden the ball finds you over the top for the easy layup. Those are plays. You know, transition, pick and pop plays. Those are plays that you have. We need an offensive coordinator.
But what I'm saying now, we came back with the same staff. We came back with the same thing. If Bullock is not going to shoot at will and hit most of them shots that he was missing last year, then...
Well, he wasn't. Well, towards the end of the year, he was making all them shots.
If you can get a shooter that's better, because what we about to say right now is what do we need? We're gonna say shooting.
Right, but but to me, that shooting got to come from the 3 position, where to me it needs to come from Burke's position. Now I'll take Burke back without hands down, but you could find another player. Just like last year, we had somebody like Burke, who we let go last year, come off the bench scores.
Morris.
Not Morris. Somebody we had last year.
Morris was hitting 3.
Yeah, but Morris was different. I think we need a 3 guy. A 6'8", 6'9" 3 guy.
Shout out to my boy Ian. He said, "You know who would have helped?" I said, "Who?" He said, "Tim Hardaway." He know I ain't like him neither.
sorry, Ian. Tim Hardaway wouldn't help.
That'd have been a headache, bro.
Yeah, but much as I love Tim Hardaway,
he would have hit 30 on the first game. And he would have missed it again.
Right.
And he would have been Like I hear him like Tim Hardaway's one of the people that can dribble in your face and just pull up in your face. So now
but it's the point that he won't do it for us. He didn't do it for us.
What Bogdanovich did was he hit most of the shots. They didn't really run no plays for them.
Yes, they did.
I'm talking about, but not nothing crazy. But
I'm talking about running those plays, running them guys through the corner, and running them off. Yes, those are plays.
But that was our defense also with that switching.
But that's our play, right?
We switch so much we ain't getting
trading them. They attack the man with their ball. They attack the weak side defender, so they know you're going to step up. They know the Knicks are just conditioned to step up and get too far away. And as soon as you make a commit, you ain't even all the way up. That ball's over there to the guy he catches shooting. Those are plays. That's why they ready to shoot.
Who are you letting go? Who's on the chopping block if we had to let him go? Who you keeping?
Well, all right. First, because that will have them been tied into when we get to free agency. Because you got to look at your need.
That's the next topic you said.
Bert. All right. So Bert. Bert, I would like to keep, but I would, if I had to, I'd chop him because you can find another score. I don't want to chop him, but okay, Bert. All right. Let's look at this. 15 people on the roster, right? So you talk about 9 or 10 that play. So let's just go by that. So you need a point guard. So Elfrid Payton is chopped, right? He basically was a starting point guard.
I ain't even seen
him. RJ, to me, I would not chop him, but I would find a player, unless RJ really came back to training camp with a jump shot that an undeniable jump shot, he's going to my bench. Unless I got real scoring in my lineup, I can't sit there and live with RJ not making routine shots. If we're gonna remember, the whole idea is now we're 4th place, and you can say 4th or 6th based on that one game that separated us. So you don't want to go backwards; you want to go forward with your team. The rebuild, we don't jumpstart the rebuild. We in it now, so we talking about now being contenders. We're not talking about grooming no more young guys. So that position, I got to get production from that position. I'm not talking about just 25 points.
And this is why I said it was hard. So what I'm saying is, I'm keeping RJ because
I'm keeping him.
Yeah, so who, even if he came with the bench, because really he came with the bench anyway. Who you putting there?
I move depending on who I'm getting in free agency. I move Bert back to his natural 2.
That's what I'm saying. That's what.
Right. Then I go get me a small forward. I give me a bona fide small forward. Now, if I'm keeping Randall, that small forward. Now, this is contingent on we don't go out and get a superstar. That small forward got to be somebody who can score like a triple threat. So and it's guys like that are out there. So I'm going to get me a small forward, and he's got to be between 6'8" and 6'9". You know, we got to get more length out there on the court, and then hopefully Mitch is coming back, and then now you have Mitch.
Yeah, I just say scorer, shooter.
Yeah, but as far as letting go, okay, Frank possibly wouldn't be back, but you never know because you still got to run out your roster. Burke, be nice to have Burke back, but if he didn't, we could find another Burke and maybe a taller Burke.
I just like his hustle.
Our front line, I would like to keep our front line, but there's a possibility that Nerlens don't come back. People saw what he did. So now it comes down to the Knicks. What are y'all willing to spend to keep him? Because he turned down big money last year.
You're not coming back and keep him. That's different. So like,
well, it's the only reason he's not going to come back because you're looking for a payday. Nerlens turned down a big contract. That's why he was available last year.
That's different. But and if Nerlens left, I'm still not that upset about that.
Yeah, because you got Taj. You can find another backup. Now, if Nerlens left, well, Todd's going to be back, even if you don't sign him right away, because nobody's going to pick up Todd.
Don't say that.
I'm just saying. I'm saying you can just sign him to a minimum and keep him anyway.
They want to see the Knicks win. They want to see the Knicks down.
Well, to me, you can get Todd back. Now, if you did lose Nerlens, right, then that next guy off the bench at forward, he's got to be a guy that got some skills, be it shooting or scoring down low. Because we do have to get more scoring production. I think Obi's going to come back more ready off the bench to give you that scoring production. But we have to get because there was nobody to, when the outside wasn't going, people's J's was off and the handles wasn't really right. There was nobody to dump the ball down into. And which I don't know why we didn't do that. Why we didn't just throw Randall down there to get him comfortable. Throw him on the block. The man was a good block player.
Even though we're doing all these floaters, our mid-range game is terrible. Like, you can look at like Damian Lillard, will take it to the basket. It's not always a floater. Look at Derrick Rose. It used to be when he was younger. It wasn't always to be a floater.
But that's where the offensive coordinator come in at though.
Yeah,
because them guys are capable.
Now, Obi was a little bit better. I could see him being that player that like would have put them on their toes. RJ Barrett, like I said, no, not consistent. Instead of him, that was a bunch of.
But our mid-range game would have been good.
Go in the paint and try to dunk on them at least. Y'all try to do that little flip up, pretty layup.
Because they're creating the shot on their own.
Yeah.
If we had an offensive set for mid-range, that's what we had, mid-range players. We had our guys were more mid-range players than they were, but we didn't have the plays to get them into the lane for that. They did that on their own. Burke is a mid-range shooter. Bullock is a 3 guy. Quigley is a mid-range shooter. Derrick is a mid-range shooter. RJ is probably more of a mid-range shooter than he is. Well, we know he's not a 3. But we didn't have the plays to get them in the lane for that.
When I say like mid-range, I mean like DeRozan, right? He'll come off that screen, and if he can't get over to the basket, it's not always a floater. It's like, a little mid-range jump shot. Yeah. So now you're gonna have to guard.
Yeah, Burke was the only one to use his mid-range shot.
And then Burke had to work super. This is why I like Burke this whole season. He had to work super hard to get them shots off. That was almost superstar quality.
But that's what I was saying right now. We need a coordinator that those shots are by design.
Now with Burke,
we work too hard to get those shots.
So even looking at the history of the Knicks, we always said it. We never had a player that could just come down the lane and dunk on you for a long time. We never had a player like a Burke that could just dribble, get their shot off like that, do trick shots and all that. Since like Jamal Crawford, you know what I mean? We didn't have those kind of players. The most we had was Amari Stoudemire that give you that consistent mid-range or post move to the basket. Melo with the consistent mid-range post up to the basket. And even I'm going to throw Gallinari in there. I feel like that was his problem with the Knicks.
Well, all he did was shoot.
Yeah, he was shooting, but he would do a post like a Melo, like a baby Melo, pretty much. We didn't really have any other kind of player that throw alleys, catch alleys until we got Mitch. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this is who you keep and who you. It's tough until you get to who you drafting and who you think.
Well, so let's go. So let's go to free agency.
Yeah, free agency.
Because
let me start. I just gotta get this off because we were talking about this last night. Here's my thing right now. If you mess around, what happens if Kawhi lose this series and just come to the Knicks? Now what?
All right, that's talk, right? And that's something that I think should happen. But you don't have to get
Lonzo Ball. So now all these trades and who we keep and who we don't keep, we can kind of get these players and let go who you want to let go now, and pay who you want to pay if they're gonna come here for the check.
No, but all that's a possibility.
Now if you got Lonzo, say you got Lonzo now, you got D Rose. Say you got now
everybody talking about Lillard,
and then say that dude from overseas. Say if he is that good. Come on now.
Yeah, all those possibilities are there in free agency, and not just
you really work hard for all that.
And not just
can't.
Well, they would have to come because to get some of
Randall,
them.
you ain't let go. If Kawhi came, Randall. Now say what happened to Randall?
If Kawhi came, you can still have Randall. You can still keep Randall.
Matter of fact, if Kawhi came, that guy you
Kawhi to me is somebody they need to go after.
Later, then I can see him.
Nah, see,
still
listen.
More shooters, but then I can see that guy you're gonna talk about later.
But that's the whole idea of bringing in the veterans with natural skill. I mean, DeMar DeRozan is a free agent. You don't want to get another old guard because you got Rose. But what if Rose was to leave? Then you got to look at the Mike Conleys and the Kyle Lowrys of the world. You know, because you got to have that other veteran presence. You see now with Rose, if we didn't have Rose. When we did, it's another. You could argue that maybe we don't even get that far, because he came in and bring stability. So it's a lot of people out there that can still fit into the system that the Knicks put together. So yes, of course, my biggest thing right now, if Kawhi's available, you go get Kawhi, and you throw the book at him.
I mean, is his hometown LA? Is that why he went over there?
He went there, but if they lose, and the way Rondo was acting with him, and the way, and then hey, if you can't get Kawhi, see if you can pry away Paul, because we need a small forward. We need a small forward to put their stamp on the league.
I feel like you get Paul.
So either one, though.
You got to get somebody.
Either one. Yeah, but I'm saying you put one of them guys. Of course, you're gonna need a point guard, but you put one of them guys with the team that we got. you add a guy like any one of them. You could have took one of them guys and put them in the team this year, and we are way better. We are a way better team in the playoffs. Only because the attention going to be sucked on them, and the other guys now you can do your thing comfortable. Comfortable taking your shots, comfortable cutting, comfortable doing all of that. You don't even need that much more. You get them guys. You go out, you find you a guard because the guard ain't going to have it anyway.
Now I had a quick thought, money wise. If the Nets can have KD, Kyrie, Harden, Blake Griffin, Jordan, who else they got on there?
Because guys are not making the other guys ain't making nothing. You got a bunch of $1-2 million salaries. They're never gonna play.
Keep is the rookies. So if we let go of other people and we got all them superstars, then I don't see the issue.
Well, the Knicks have money.
That's what I'm saying. They got money.
The Knicks have money.
I don't see how
people got. I
don't see how we can't get Kawhi.
Well, that's what the guys are for. That's what these people we got up front now. Now this is what you're here for.
Do you really care about Burks?
No, that's what I'm saying.
You're gonna need Bullock for the shooting.
Not just shooting, but the D.
But yeah,
Bullock he's a legitimate 3-and-D guy in this league who can play off a star. Now, mind you, any other team you on, teams are running sets. You're in the corner for a reason. You're moving around the court for a reason. You ain't just running, scrambling for a shot. So that's why those shooters are so valuable. They know where their shots are coming from. So if they have me run to this spot 3-4 times in a row, I know 2 of those times that ball is coming. I already know, so I'm ready to shoot. We don't do that. We just send guys out and then let the ball find you. They say the ball find, but this is not that type of. Sometimes you need some cohesion, and guys need to know I'm setting this guy up so I can get this shot out here in the corner. So
Rose and Kawhi out there, Mitchell Robinson back.
Yeah. Somebody put up a lineup. Somebody put up a lineup. He's not a free agent because they put a lineup of RJ and Lillard, Kawhi, Randall, and Mitch.
Lillard's a free agent?
No, but I think it must be something with. It's got to be something going on with. If you're gonna try to go get Lillard, you're gonna be giving up something. You giving up.
Let's say this lineup one more time. Like without you ain't even got to trade nobody. You got Lonzo. Who we putting at the 2? It's like Lonzo. Let's just say Bullock.
To me, Bullock.
And then let's say DeRozan, right? Would be 3. Then Kawhi.
Nah,
Kawhi played the 4.
Nah, that's
Kawhi played the 3, 4.
Kawhi played 3.
DeRozan played the what? 2.
Two.
Played the 2. So
yeah.
what? Lonzo, DeRozan, Kawhi. Well, we put Randall that drop at the 4, and they say you have Mitch.
Yeah, but that's not gonna work neither for me because if you're gonna get Lonzo, then you gotta get shooters and you gotta get guys that know how to get out and run. Because Lonzo is a pusher. He's not a half court player. So that lineup for me, and I like to have Lonzo, but that lineup don't work for me with Ball because then you don't need Ball. If you got them guys, you don't need because Ball pushes the ball. He gets it, advance it. But them guys ain't running.
Then look at our bench. You got Quickly still. You got D Rose. You got Obi. You got people that in the second lineup that will probably run with him. Who else I'm missing?
Yeah, but you're gonna bring him. He's going to be the starter. You ain't gonna bring him in.
Who?
You ain't gonna bring in Ball.
No, that's what I said.
Right, you're gonna bring him in as a starter. So
I said, say if D Rose played the 2 for a little bit, and he came out. I mean, D Rose older, or Quickly can play the 2. Now you coming out, you running more. You got Obi coming in. I don't know. Maybe it's 2 separate lines. One lineup is more defensive minded. Let's get down the court. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I would like
sure
Ball,
that
but you gotta run with Ball.
Mitchell Robinson and all them going to run with Lonzo. Yeah. Even though Kawhi don't, but Kawhi would have to understand that.
Defeat the purpose of Kawhi. If your 2 forwards aren't running, that defeat the purpose.
And who's to say they won't run, right?
Who say they will run? Randall wouldn't even run. He wouldn't even run in playoffs when Rose
I
trying
wouldn't
to push
care
it.
what Randall think because your butt froze up.
Well, now here's the other dilemma with Randall. Now, what do you offer him? Because before you could have offered him the max for now. He could have declined and waited till next year, and somebody gave him $80 million more over the life of the contract. So now, do you even shortchange him now, or do you
get what he deserves?
Listen, it all depends on what happens in free agency.
Listen,
because you bringing in defensive-minded scorers.
Making a hefty check. And then I'll throw in another incentive. If you got $1 million to get to the playoffs, you got $1 million every time you get out the first round then.
Nah, the incentives now got to be over. Because now you owe us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You owe us now.
You should have signed that extension. Because now players, they looking at that. They don't care.
Well, this is the year he has to sign.
Saying, whatever you did all year long, that means you're not my first option. I know what you're going to do all season long to get me to the playoffs. But when I get to the playoffs...
Well, that happens with everybody. That happened with James Harden. That's happened with all of them.
So even now, right, with James Harden take a backseat, but I'm telling Randall to do.
Right? I ain't taking no damn backseat.
He's taking the backseat. And every time they need him to score, he just
scores. That man scored 30 points a game.
That's what I'm saying. Like when he need to score 30, he just sit there and score 30.
Yeah, because his idea is he wanted the ball in his hand, so he got the ball in his hand. So yeah, it's easier for me to feed y'all because I can get my assists up, I can do all these little things, now, and I still can shoot when I want.
But with Kyrie and Durant, he don't have to. Like I said, it's not. Our focus ain't even on Harden right now. That's on Kyrie and with Durant.
Well, for them to win, all three of them got to be playing good, or the Nets don't win because all three of them are the ones taking the shots. Now, Dinwiddie is a free agent too. You know what I mean? So what? Because to me, you got to come back with a star. But if you didn't want to tinker with the team too much, those other two positions, and I say two, it's got to be one in the starting lineup, and it's got to be one off the bench. And then you got to bring another shooter for whatever reason because you got so many guys sitting there that could just knock down shots flat out. But those guys got to be able to score real buckets.
Yeah, I would ask you. I don't know D Rose mental, so I would ask him like, do you want to start?
Nah, he can't start.
No, I would ask him to see where his mental is at.
Nah, I think his mental know that he can't. He played them 30-something minutes, 34 minutes and stuff going down the stretch of the season, and he can't. But he can't do that. You know,
it didn't even look like he wanted.
He left Detroit because he wanted more playing time, and he felt they said they was going to rest him, but he didn't want the rest. But we can't. Them young boys are running, so he needs to come off the bench. If he started, it wouldn't kill you, depending on who's in your starting lineup.
What he said? He said I'm 35 years old.
Yeah, but he needs to come off the bench with some nice players by his side. But then too, Derrick likes to go to the hole himself. So you gotta get somebody out there up and running. But there's a whole lot of now we can talk about John Collins is a free agent that Denver had. So what if Randall did move on and you got like a Kawhi or Paul George? And a guy like Collins available. There's a whole lot of guys. We'll go over that as time goes on because we have time to dissect it. But there's not a lot of superstars in this free agency. But again, Leon Rose, World Wide West, y'all brought in here to pry people away from other teams. Chris Paul is a free agent, but you ain't keeping him with Derrick Rose. Yeah. But after what he did the last 2 years,
you said Devin Booker. I was like, all right.
Again, can you pry? You ain't gonna pry him away now. You could have pried him away last year.
Well, yeah,
but because he signed. But can you pry? You got to be able to pry guys away from their team. Anthony Davis could opt out. I'm saying he could opt out. What can you, as a general manager? Because how do guys get these people? That they get these people that way. The unthinkable is a way they get people. With Kawhi after that stuff in San Antonio, and nobody expect him to be gone, and now he's gone. Then you win a championship in Toronto, then you're gone. Now you're over here in Clippers. Now it's uncertainty. You got to figure out a way to pry people away. That's what GMs get paid for. You can't just say who's available. You got to call up somebody and make them available. Team, you give a team the right thing. And one thing we got a lot of coming up is draft picks. We moving forward. We don't need all them draft picks no more. Unless because the rebuild for what now? We're a 4th seed. Now we trying to stay 4th or get the 3rd or better. That's what we trying to do. Regardless of the Nets sweep, run through the playoffs for the championship or not. We know with consistent shooting guys under Tibbs' system, the Knicks go to another level. So if you got to try to pry these people away, you have to pry them away from the teams that they act. That's what a GM job is. Convince you to give up something you don't want to give up. And take back something you know you don't need. Teams do it every year. So now we got to do that. So I would love to have Ball, but I would like to have Ball with a running team. Because that's his game. If he's going to be effective, guys got to be able to get the ball in transition and go make a play. Because he's going to push it. I'd love to have Kawhi or Paul George at the 3. If there's not them, there's still serviceable 3s that you could go get.
Yeah,
you know,
Ball, that's the energy.
Go get them. Well, I'm saying with Lonzo Ball with that kind of guard. Now, let's skip down to the draft. So there's a whole lot of people in the draft. We know that. But from where we're picking, and the draft is not going to be our savior. So, Joe, you was talking about, well, I was telling you somebody that I was talking about for the draft. And then Bobby brought this guy to my attention to me last week. He's a 6'9" forward, but he's really a 6'9" guard out of Florida State, Scotty Barnes. And you look at stuff like what Trey, you look at kind of like what Trey and them was doing. This guy can really guard you from end to end and disrupt where you want to go and disrupt your dribble. And I was just like, first I wasn't sold. Then we just kept going over the tapes, and I'm just like, damn, he's doing this all the time. And then when he's getting it, he's making the transition from defense to offense that quick, effectively. So I'm like, Knicks, these are the kind of guys that we need to go get. Okay, we're not getting the Cade Cunninghams of the world, but we are at a point now where we thinking now championship. What can we do to now be a championship contender? We're not thinking about no more grooming the young guys. You bring in young guys that fit and that can help, because we already got 3 or 4 that we use on a regular basis.
Well, what I was saying was he looked good.
He looked better than good, Joe.
He looks good here's the thing. Does it translate into the NBA? Because now
his style of play.
Now, if you get a Ben Simmons, everybody still complain that he can't shoot.
And look what he's doing, though. Look what Ben Simmons is doing.
So what I'm saying is, you bring that guy in.
But the guy can shoot. He shoots way better than Ben Simmons. This guy's a knockdown shooter.
Now let's add everything together. You draft him, and then you're trying to go get these free agents. Where are you putting him?
It don't matter when we draft these guys. It don't matter where we put them. It don't matter if they're playing right away. We're not looking to,
because he can't shoot.
He can shoot, Joey. The boy can knock down Jays. What are you talking about? The boy can knock down Jays. I don't know what you saw.
Everybody was saying his weakness was he can't shoot, and
he's not a volume shooter, but he can shoot.
And he takes bad shot selection like a Randall.
Nah, this guy is a defensive stud who can get you out in transition and find the open man and finish. We ain't talking about nobody coming being the savior.
He's a point forward that looked like he need the ball in his hand. So
right. So those are kind of look what Randall's doing. Look what Randall's doing.
So when you draft him, he takes Randall's spot?
He don't take nobody's spot. You draft him, you fit him where you need him. And if you don't need him right away, you put him on your team till you need him. Because free agency is where our bread and butter, our free agents, there's nobody in this draft right now where we're going to be picking that's going to make us a better team.
What I'm saying is he looks like a waste if he's somebody
Joe.
If he needs the ball in his hand.
All right, so who you take in the draft? And there's a lot of guys in the draft.
I didn't really look at the draft, but for him, I'm just looking at how
okay, we got RJ Quigley, Obi, right? Who's probably gonna be a part of the rotations next year. We ain't trying to develop young guys no more. Them young guys had to grow up.
That's what I'm
saying. This season is playoffs.
Doing that.
So you gotta play now. You gotta go home to the lab and you gotta come back. The way Randall came back this year, this is how y'all gotta come back. Because now we fighting for championship. We're not fighting no more to groom these. Y'all spoiled that when y'all helped us all get to the 4th seed. And even if it was a 6th seed, depending on those losses and ones at the end. So now we in the mix. So that going backward stuff, you know what I'm saying? Unless you got a Cunninghams of the world, them guys, we looking to get the free agents in there. Our young guys grow. Yeah, you bring in a couple of free agents here and there, but we looking to move forward with this thing.
What I'm saying is you draft is shooting or you draft somebody that look like they scoring. I'm not drafting nobody that can just play really good.
Nah, then you better go back. Everybody go back and do your homework on Scotty Barnes. Especially where we're picking. Go do your homework on this guy. I'm telling you, I'm sold on this guy. I'm sold on this guy. I'm not sold on nobody in the draft as our saviors where we're picking because we're trying to win a championship.
That defense he's doing, I don't care how fast the players move.
Listen, you don't want to get caught up in him. That's you. I'm talking about the Knicks and what we need. The draft to me this year is really irrelevant. I wouldn't even care if we took our draft picks and parlayed that into a player that we need, which can't be off the table because we don't need all them young guys no more, y'all. We got draft picks for the next 5 years. We got so many draft picks, and we got good draft picks. So we trying to win. And if you're not down with what the Knicks is doing right now, and you still talking about rebuilding for the future, then you done missed it.
Yeah, but that's not a
and you done missed
it. That's gonna have you rebuilding because
no, that's not gonna have you rebuilding, Joe. Those are the type of guys you need on your team.
Yeah, but
we could have plugged them in again. We could have plugged them in this year.
I'm talking about his strength.
What trading was doing.
Yeah,
I don't think you scouted them right. Go back and scout them again.
Is playmaking and defense.
Go back and scout them again, Joey. Go back and scout them again.
When you look up, all he do is go to the basket.
Go back and scout him again. Look how he got in transition. Go back and scout him again. We're not bringing in no rookie to lead us to no victories.
No, it's
like
not
that.
about a rookie.
We bringing in people that the way the Knicks play basketball.
I'm talking about not a rookie.
He's a perfect fit for the way we play basketball.
I'm not looking for a rookie to be all end. I'm looking for a rookie. I want you to shoot, or I want you to just be.
Listen, our veterans with the rookies that we got, they're supposed to get better. And the veterans that we got now, and the ones that we're supposed to bring in, that's really going to move us forward. That's our window. That's our window. Their draft stuff, you can take them 3-4 draft picks, 2 in the first round, or maybe 2 in the second, whatever it is. You can parlay those, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that guy just looks like
you can parlay them guys.
He needs to play.
But even if he don't, when your opportunity comes, look how guys played this year, because their opportunity came. Look, Gibson would have sat on our bench. He wasn't there in the beginning of the season. Gibson would have sat on our bench if Mitch didn't get hurt. He would have sat on the bench the whole time that we had him. Derrick Rose came in. If somebody else went down, right, for a little bit, Derrick would have probably still been sitting on our bench going spot minutes. Your opportunity will come. Quigley started for a while because of injury. Burke started for a while because of injury. Your opportunity come, you be there, and you got to have them right guys in there to be ready. We tried to throw Frank in at the end, but Frank just wasn't ready, even to do the things that he was capable of supposed to be able to do. Couldn't even do that. So the Knicks, we looking to win a championship. That's where we at.
I was just not sold on defense like that because
Joe, we need
that's when you get in the NBA.
But we need real defense, Joey, because our guys, other than Bullock, we don't have a guy that can guard somebody mano a mano. We had team defense.
We still gonna be crying. We need shooting because
he's not gonna. Our shooter's gonna come from our free agent. You see, you stuck on that. You stuck on it.
Shoot.
We need the guy can shoot, but that's not why he's here. That's not why he's here. Our shooter's gonna come from them young guys getting better, and hopefully the 2 free agents of nice contracts that we bring in, and then you add that to Bullock and them guys. That's where it's coming from. It's not coming from nobody in the draft. Y'all wake up. Knicks is trying to win. Knicks trying to win. We ain't rebuilding. You, them draft picks, look, use them to get better players, and then you still got draft picks next year to fill the other holes. But every year, the best teams that trying to win championships, they don't even think about the draft like that. They thinking about tweaking to get better. And that's what we got to do. We got to move this train forward.
If I draft, it got to be somebody better than RJ.
We ain't thinking of, all right, Joey, but forget the draft. Let's talk about.
I'm talking about that. We talking about that guy. That guy ain't that good.
That guy is great, Joey. For what we need, that guy is great. And you can put a guy like that on Trey. You can put a guy like that on Giannis. You can put him on Ben. You can put him on LeBron. You can put him on AD. You can put a guy that smothers people, who knows how to play defense. He's not just sold all in. We talking about right now. My first thing right now, as we go forward and find out who's available, who may be available when we pick, who can we maybe parlay and get. That guy fits our system to the T. And we had somebody right now that could have slowed down one of their perimeter players. One of them. Like what Burke was trying to do with Trey, it's hard because guys cross over so much. But now what if you got somebody on the other side that can lock up the other side? And it's like, wow, okay. Now all of a sudden you can't go that way because this guy's over here is locked up too. So he ain't gonna commit to you. He's gonna guard you man up, and then this guy over here is locked up, and hopefully now you got a Mitch back there protecting the rim. Now you can go out there and play some real defense and turn that into offense and be able to finish and transition, which is what good defense is for.
Yeah, all I did was plug him in. I took.
Yeah, but Joe, go back. I'm not even interested in that how what you're saying no more. Because to me, just go back and do some more research on the guy.
I'm talking about you got. I just plugged them in what we got now.
You stuck on that. Listen, y'all. This show's over today. You stuck on that part, Joey. Forget about that part. I know, but it's like you killing. Just do some real research on the guy. And most of the time, when I talk about somebody that might be a gem, hell, most of the time I'm right. Most of the time. But again, the Knicks is looking to move forward. Take them picks and parlay them if you have to. But free agency is where we got to make our bread and butter. All right? We want y'all to like, comment, subscribe. And we probably going to finish arguing even when this is over. All right. So, peace.